can reach me on Facebook. You can call me while I'm on the air at 864-376-1482 or come by the store Saturdays from 6:30 to 11. Today is Wednesday, November the 8th, 2023. I'm your host today, Don Acevedo. The weather outside is 67 degrees, 1% chance of rain. The high today will reach 79 degrees, and it's absolutely beautiful out there, but we're having a little hazy. There's a little smoke in the air from the wildfires in Tennessee and North Carolina. So those of you with respiratory problems should probably stay inside until that smoke clears off here in the area. Shout outs go to Jane, Josh, Heather, Carter, Blaine, Hampton, Hudson, Grant, Sylvia, Heidi, Charlie Harper, and always loving Martin. Here at Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass, we have music lessons all week. We teach fiddle, we teach classical violin, mandolin, bass, guitar, banjo, anything with a string on it. We teach it here at Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass. So if you're interested in taking lessons, please contact me at 864-376-1482 or come by Breazeale, located at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina, and we'll teach you whatever you want to know. We have the best instructors, in my opinion, in the upstate. So if you want more information, call me 864-376-1482. Again, that's 864-376-1482, and we're located at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina, for all of your musical needs. We provide everything you need to be an accomplished musician. We offer the best fellowship in town by far. Whether you're a musician or just a listener, come on by. Just come on by. We're located at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina. My phone number is 864-376-1482, and you can call me during the broadcast, after the broadcast, whenever you feel like calling me, just call me. I'll generally answer the phone, or if I don't, just leave a message, because a lot of times there are those calls that you get trying to sell you something. I don't answer those. So just keep trying, or leave me a message. I'll call you back. You can also follow us on our social media pages. Under pages, YouTube, Facebook, and when you do Facebook, go under Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass. Facebook, Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass. And on Instagram, you can go to bgbluegrass.com. So they'll get you there somehow. Most of you know that listen to the broadcast, we sell pork rinds. They are delicious. Matter of fact, I got to put another order in next week, and I got about 6 bags left, so I'll put another order in next week. They're $7, and we have plain, hot, spicy, salt and vinegar, smoky bacon. We also have hats, shirts, mugs. We also sell instruments, fiddles, mandolins, guitars, bass, banjos. You name it. Anything with a string on it, we'll sell it. I had a friend of mine just walked in, Kaylin Rainey, and I have a check for you, Kaylin. As soon as the broadcast, you can wait. I gotta write you a check for the outfits.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I pick it up on the way back by?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm going that way. I'll be back.
Okay, thank you, Kaylin. This is my buddy Kaylin, just dropped in. I got to give him a check. He's getting ready to get married. I'm in the wedding, so that's going to be exciting. Exciting times for Kaylin and his bride to be. And we sell pretty much anything with a string on it. We sell it. So if you're interested in singing, playing something, or just fellowship, call me at 864-376-1482. Again, that's 864-376-1482, and we'll be glad to take care of any needs that you have. Okay, something exciting is coming this Friday. It's called La Terza Classe. It's an Italian bluegrass group. They were here several years ago. They're awesome. You know, they're Italian, so when they talk, they have the Italian accent, but when they sing, they don't have an accent, unless it's an Italian song. So they learned a bunch of bluegrass songs, and they first came here, and they're a cool bunch of guys. So if we still have some tickets left, so if you want to come and listen to them this Friday from 7 to 9, we still have a few, I think, maybe 4, 5, 6 tickets left. Call me at 864-376-1482 or stop by and pick up your ticket here at Breazeale's. They'll be here November 10th, this Friday from 7 to 9. Tickets are $25 and $30 at the door, and then we still have some left, so call or come by the store. Okay, good morning. I'm your host today. I'm going to be the speaker. I'm going to talk about my stuff and things that hopefully you'll enjoy hearing me talk about. So we welcome you to the show today. And today we have several topics to talk about. I'm excited about the coffee business. You know, I've been selling coffee here on a small scale for about 4 years now. And a little bit about the coffee business. I went to high school with Johnny Roberts. I quit in the 11th, but he finished up. And right after high school, he married Patty. They're still together. They've been married ever since high school. They were young, but they got married. They had 3 children. Patty never worked. She had to stay home and take care of the children. Johnny went into the coffee business. That's all Johnny has ever done. Coffee. I don't know if he knew how to turn a wrench or not, because he's just a coffee man. And if Johnny's not roasting, he's not a happy camper, I'm telling you. So anyway, the story goes like this. I ran into him a little over 4 years ago. I was down in South Florida visiting my sister, and I always go by and see Johnny. He lived on the Intercoastal Waterway, had a nice, I think about 1,000-foot dock, boats out there, and had a nice little home there on the water that he bought from the coffee business. I raised 3 children. They all left and got married, and they're living a good life. I think his daughter started selling some of his coffee. That's where I buy it now, from his daughter in South Florida. So the way it goes is Johnny retired and turned the coffee business over to his daughter. Well, I don't know what happened there, but before he left for Europe, he went to Europe for, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, just tooling around Europe with Patty, spending some of that big money he made selling his place and his house. So he and Patty are in Europe right now. They'll be back Thanksgiving. Anyway, prior to them leaving, he had called me and he said, you know, excuse me, I got to take a sip of my coffee. My daughter brings me the coffee when she comes here. Anyway, prior to him leaving the business to his daughter, before that he said, well, I'm going to see how she does. Well, I don't know the situation there, but anyway, he wasn't happy with the way she was running things or something. So he called me one day, and you know, down in Florida they call me Donnie. They call me Donnie. He said, hey Donnie, I got a proposal for you. I said, what's that? He said, well, I'm coming out of retirement, going back in the coffee business, and you and I are going to be partners. Boy, you talking about excited. I got so excited. And he said, well, we'll go through the details when I get back from Europe. In the meantime, you come down here with a trailer, pick up all the equipment I got in the warehouse. My roaster is in North Carolina, in my place up there. and you get a trailer and come and get the roaster. It's about a $45,000 roaster. No telling what all that equipment's worth that he has. He's got all kinds of expensive coffee grinders, coffee machines, you name it. Johnny's got it. So after he gets back, my son Josh and I are gonna get on a plane and fly down to West Palm. We're gonna rent a U-Haul, you know, an enclosed U-Haul trailer. Go pick up all his equipment and maybe stay a day or two with my sister. Every time I go, I gotta hit the beach. I'm a beach bum. That's what I was. I surfed for 12, 15 years of my life. I loved it. Can't do it now, a little overweight. My balance isn't what it used to be. But you know what I was thinking yesterday? I was just thinking, you know, because I watch a lot of surfing stuff on my phone. And I said, you know, I think I might try it again. I'm going to go down there. I lose about 10 more pounds. I'm going to go down there and rent me a surfboard. You know, waves are 4 to 5 foot tall or something, you know, decent wave. I'm going to go out there and try to surf again. You know, balance is everything on surfing. If you don't have any kind of balance, forget it. And my balance a little off with age, you know. So, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll catch a good wave and maybe hang 5, hang 10, come on back, do a cutout, and ride it to shore, you know. I love that. So anyway, that's about my surfing thing. So Johnny says, when I get back, we're gonna get all that equipment and bring it to your store here at Breazeale's at 51 on Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina. We're gonna bring the roaster here and all the equipment here, and he's gonna come here 2 days a week and roast coffee. He's gonna show me how to perfect that. You know, coffee beans, you know, there's a lot of coffee companies out there. But, you know, the big companies, they don't take the chaff out of the coffees. You know, you open up the bag, you empty all the beans, you pour it out, about that much chaff in it. You know, a lot of companies just don't bother to do that. Well, Johnny, his beans, I wish I could, one of these days I'll get a close-up of his beans. They're beautiful. They're roasted to perfection. Not over roasted, not under roasted, not too much moisture, just a right combination, which he's figured out after 52 years. The perfect combination to roast a good bean. The second thing is you got to have a good bean. In all his studies of 52 years, he finally found where the good beans are. It's south of the equator in South America, a place where he gets it, and south of the equator in Africa, a place where he gets it. So anyway, he started shipping those bags. They come in 50-pound bags. I don't know if you can see the bags behind me, but that's what they look like, burlap bags. They go from both of these countries, and they're on the dock on Mondays in Miami, shipping docks. And he would go down there and put the bags in his van and go to his warehouse and start roasting. So, you know, after 52 years, you figure out where the best beans are, right temperatures and moisture and everything to make a perfect coffee bean. And I'm going to tell you, if you've never had any of Johnny's coffee, you need to come by and get a bag. If you don't have the money, I'll give you a bag. Try it out. It is delicious coffee. We have 5 flavors. Banjo blend is the regular flavor. No flavors at all. It's just a regular dark roasted. Actually, about a year ago, he came out with a new bean. It's a new dark roast Colombian bean. Yeah. Delicious. Delicious. A real quick story. These 2 ladies came in here from Seneca, South Carolina, not far from here, 20-minute drive maybe, and they go to this pub in Seneca on Ramcat Alley. Okay, they're regulars there. So they came here one night and listened to music. Well, they got them a cup of coffee. And on Saturday nights, I just make the banjo blend, because that's the best. They had a cup of coffee, and they were getting ready to leave, and they said, "Where do you get this coffee?" And I said, I kind of gave them a real quick story about where I get it. So they went back and told the owner of Ramcat Alley, the restaurant there, and sports bar, and they told him. So he called me on a Wednesday. He called me and said, yeah, 2 ladies went down there. Anyway, can you bring a bag of coffee? I want to try it. They were just ranting and raving about it. So I took a bag of banjo blend, took it to Ramcat Alley, went down there. On his counter on the bar, there was stacked up kind of like in a pyramid, Starbucks coffee. That's what he was selling. Probably still is. So anyway, he said, told the guy behind the bar, he said, make us a batch of coffee. I took him beans. They had to grind it, and then so it's fresh. Now most of you folks might not know, but a bean stays fresher when it's in the bean form. Once you grind it, shelf life comes down. So that's why I don't grind my beans. Only on request. If you don't have a grinder, I have a grinder in the back. I grind the beans for them if they need to. So anyway, we had a little coffee tasting ceremony there. He drank 2 cups, and he looked at me and he said, whenever you can service me, that Starbucks is coming off the shelf. Well, at the time, I was not able to fill his needs. I'm a small operator, and what he needed was more than I could do at the time. But I do have 5 accounts in 3 states that I deliver to. I gotta send a batch of 45 bags here to Columbia, South Carolina next week. I got the order in, so I gotta send it next week. I just do what I can manage. You know, if I can't manage it, I don't wanna do it unless I can manage that account. So far with 5 accounts, it's manageable. I have some help. Labeling the bags and putting the beans in the coffee and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, I'm in the coffee business now. Been in it for about 4 years. So Johnny, when he gets back from Europe, Thanksgiving next week, he will be coming to the store. We're going to talk about how we're going to set this up in here. I got a big deck out back, and I'm thinking I was going to put it here in the store, but it takes up a lot of room. So I got a nice deck out back with a roof on it and everything. I think I'm going to enclose that, put 1 window, a steel door, and we're going to put the roaster out there, and I'll build a couple of tables for the ladies to prep the bags and put the coffee in the bags and get them ready for delivery. So I'm excited about this. I'm really, really excited about this, and hope it works out well for Johnny and I. I mean, the guy's a coffee guru, the best in the business, and I'm going to have him here at the store. He and Patty will come twice a week from Murphy to help me out. And of course, we're partners now, so we'll see where that goes. But I think Johnny and I will make good partners. We've known each other actually when we were kids. We lived in the same town. We were kids. We had paper routes. He delivered on one side of the highway, and I delivered on the other side on the intercoastal. I had good accounts. I would deliver 500 papers a day, 250 in the morning for the Post and 250 in the evening for the Times. Then on Saturday morning, I'd get up early, and I'd go collect. You owe me so and so. Sometimes people say, "Can you come back next week?" That was a hassle, so you know, you have to come back. So I usually collected enough to pay my bill for the papers that week. And then every morning we got done delivering our papers. I go down to drop off about 3:30 in the morning, start wrapping papers with rubber bands. If it rained, you had to put them in a plastic bag. It took a little longer when it rained. So anyway, after we got done delivering papers, we'd go to the Yee Tower. I got a picture up here on the wall you probably can't see of the old Yee Tower, and it was a little restaurant owned by the Dunbars, Mr. and Mrs. Dunbars. And we were young, and they were older people then, but they owned it. Well, Mrs. Dunbar would go there early in the morning and make apple pies. So we get done with our route. It's still dark. We'd ride our bikes over there, and she'd get us a piece of hot apple pie fresh out of the oven and a Coca-Cola. Didn't cost much, maybe $1. So we'd eat that, and then he'd go to his house. I'd go home, ride my bike home, get ready for school the next day. So Johnny and I go way, 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 way back as kids in school. Johnny was a cool guy. Yeah, he was a cool guy. You know, his parents and my parents, we never had any money, but we lived in a nice little house there on the coast. My mom raised 3 of us, and his mom and dad raised, I don't know how many. Maybe there was 4 in his family. Not for sure on that, but I think there was 4 in his family. And they raised them grown up. So anyway, that's part of that story. And then at some point I want to share my story, how I got here, you know. And I'm going to start today with some brief interviews on my story. Okay, I was born and raised, well, I was born in Miami, Opelika. I'm sorry, I was actually born at Opelika Airport, they say. And then they took my mom to Jackson Memorial Hospital, you know, for whatever you do after you're born. I don't know that for a fact, but one of my uncles told me that. So I was born in Miami. So was my sister, Jackson Memorial Hospital. I don't know, my brother was born, I think he might have been born there. Yeah, as well. Yeah. We lived in Miami, you know. So as the story goes, we lived in Miami. My father was a nice man, generous man, but he was involved in stuff that he shouldn't have been involved with. From what I get from my uncles, would tell me stories about my father. And I had an uncle, the Fonz we called him. He'd say every time your dad would come to the door at 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, my wife would tell me, she would cringe, and she said, please be home in the next couple of days, because when I went with your father, we'd be gone for several days before I got back home. He was kind of a wild man from what they say, very involved in making money. There was a little gambling involved. There was bootleg liquor involved. There was stolen car racketeering involved, and several things like that. Anything that was illegal, I think my dad was into it. But he provided well for his family, had a grocery store, had a couple airplanes. He did very well for himself, regardless of what he did. So anyway, I remember him as a good man. He always, when the ice cream truck would come down the road, he would stop the ice cream truck, and he'd go out there. I think kids from about 2 or 3 blocks away would all converge on that ice cream truck, and he would buy everybody an ice cream that was there. And we had a good time. Once a week that ice cream truck would come. It was fun. Yeah, he was a good man, per se. Yeah. So anyway, we lived in Miami, kind of growing up. I don't want to get into the next segment because that would take me a long time to get to the next segment. But there was a lot of tragedy in my family in Miami. So if I start the tragedy part, then I'll have to, it'll take me forever. So maybe on the next live stream that I do of personal testimony, I'll continue with that story. So if you want to hear the rest of the story, you've got to stay tuned to this station and this channel for bgbluegrass.com, Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass. Where am I? Oh yeah, thank you. The producer was telling me. Folks, if you're listening, go down to the bottom there and push subscribe. push that little button, subscribe at the bottom, so you can subscribe to this channel, and you can see me every week. And if you miss me, you can always go back to Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass and click on it, live stream, and you won't miss it. So hit subscribe at the bottom. See where the bottom is? My finger's pointing down. See where it says subscribe there? Yeah. Push that. Okay. Anyway, back to my story. I'll give you segments at a time of my testimony. Oh, she's waving. Oh, no. Producer said 5 minutes. She wasn't waving. That's my daughter, and she's a wonderful daughter. Don't know what I'd do without her. In the midst of all the tragedies that I've been through, I sure am blessed to have some wonderful children that God has given me, and I've been really, truly blessed with wonderful children in my life. So anyway, I'm pretty much done with what I need to say today. Thank you for joining me here at Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass, and that banjo teacher's back there with a student waiting for me to shut up so that young man can start his lesson. We got about 3 more minutes and we'll be off the air, folks. Mr. Bell's on his phone looking up the song. By the way, if you want lessons, banjo or guitar lessons, Mr. Gary Bell's here every Wednesday morning, about 11 or 12 o'clock, giving lessons all day, all afternoon. So if you're interested, call me 864-376-1482, and I'll get you in touch with Mr. Bell. Wonderful guy, a wonderful instructor. He's been doing this nearly all his life, so he's very good at what he does. And I feel very blessed to have him here at Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass as an instructor. And those of you that have followed my broadcast know that his brother taught here for many, many years, Larry Bell, and his picture's on that banjo over there. That was his teaching banjo that he taught here for many, many years. Well, he went on to be with my boy up in heaven, so they're picking and grinning, and Mr. Gary stepped in. I mean, right away he kind of stepped in, and I sure appreciate him doing that, so we can keep the tradition going. You know, we need to keep this bluegrass stuff moving along. Moving along. Okay. So we got, how much longer, producer? We got 2 minutes. Huh?
We can wrap it up early.
Okay. She said we can wrap it up early. So anyway, thank you for watching today, the live broadcast. We hope you enjoyed this segment of the broadcast. We'll be back next week at 11 a.m. So stay tuned next week for another live broadcast from Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass. Bye-bye.